What's up everybody, it's Melted Gore doing my first Q&A video. I'm super excited to do this video because I got some really awesome questions, but first I'm going to give away a Peggle code, and just like the last time, I'm going to show the code on screen. The first one to redeem it wins, and then I'm also going to give two more codes out to random question askers, so I'll do that at the end of this video. First one here is for anybody. Alright, so that code is for the first who redeems it, so good luck with that. Let's get on with the questions. A lot of you guys commented right on the video, which is fine. There was also the hashtag AskMeltedGore. I only got one question through there, but I didn't really advertise the hashtag that much. This question is from @JustBecauseYo. He said, do you like acting or voice acting more, and can you do your favorite impression? You're awesome. You're awesome. I think I like voice acting more. I've done a lot more voice acting than I have regular acting. Plus, the cool thing about voice acting is you can be whoever you want. Regular acting's really based on like appearance and stuff, which can kind of suck. They're very picky and stuff. Voice acting's a lot more fun. If you guys want to hear my stuff, soundcloud.com/Ben-Paladino. I don't know what's really my favorite impression. I've done it 100 times, but I can do my Reaper impression. I'll do my McCree impression too. I'll just do both of them because I get compliments on them all the time, and it's probably just the easiest to do real quick. It's high noon somewhere in the world. Wanted, dead or alive. I've got a bullet with your name on it. I tried being reasonable. Didn't take to it. Dead eyes ready. You know what time it is? It's high noon. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Die, die, die. From the shadows, death comes. Death walks among you. What are you looking at? I'm not a psychopath. I'm a high-functioning psychopath. If it lives, I can kill it. Hopefully those weren't too bad just on the spot. I think those were probably good quotes to use. So let's continue with the questions. B. Coutus, I think that's how you say it. He asks, what do you like best about PC game creation? It's very awesome. PC game creation, I have 2 games that are like in progress, but I haven't worked on in like months. One's called A Life Story, which is a story-based game, and then there's one called 68 Days, which is the game that takes place on Mars. I could talk about these in another video if you want me to, but I really love it because you can really do whatever you want. It really opens up your creative mind. It's very fun to do. The time it takes and the skills required. I worked on both by myself, and I had to still hire out for 3D modelers and stuff like that, and it's a lot of work. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but I love it because you really get to do what you want. It's a great way of storytelling. I specifically really like the story I wrote for A Life Story. I think it's pretty good. So I think that's my favorite thing, just the creative freedom and storytelling you get to do if you're making it yourself. I hope that answered your question. I don't know. Jaden Han asks, what is your greatest accomplishment in any video game? This is a very tough one to answer. I'm trying to think of like really hard achievements I've gotten. I don't know. I think, honestly, this can sound really stupid. This has nothing to do with achievements, but back when I was younger, video games were harder for me. My brother always did way better. He always beat everything. I was younger than him, so like games like Final Fantasy and stuff I was never able to beat and stuff like that. And one of my, just looking back real quick, one of my favorite games that I'd beaten all the way through was God of War. I wasn't terribly young then, but it was like one of the first games I really sat down and beat all the way through. But I think beating God of War was a really good one for me back in the day, but man, that's a really hard question. Getting every Pokemon in Pokemon Red, that was kind of cool. It was a pain in the ass having to start 2 new games to get the Eevee evolves. I don't know, I guess those are a few examples. It's very hard to look back and just think about one. If I went through my achievements, I could probably definitely find a game that was like ridiculous. Bob, that's a great screen name, just Bob. What size TV do you use to play Xbox? Well, right now I have everything kind of like in my whole recording setup here, but I do have a 55-inch LED TV with like 5.1 surround, which I really love. I usually play in there when I'm just playing, but lately I've been playing here in my recording area just because I'm playing with a ball for some reason. I've been doing a lot more videos lately, so if I want to take a break, I can switch on the Xbox and play real quick. And then, especially when I did my Infinite Warfare video, it was easy to record the game, do some video, you know, stuff like that. So I normally play on a 55, but right now I'm on a 22 monitor. All right, next question. Smiley Marty, what do you think is the best Xbox One exclusive game? This is a great question. I love questions like this. Everyone's always surprised by my answer, but nobody really liked or appreciated the Xbox One launch line. And I kind of get that, but I, for some reason, and they still stick with me in my mind, I loved Dead Rising 3 and Rise as launch titles, and as exclusive launch titles, I think they were very good. Rise especially had such a surprise ending. Played it, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you really had no idea. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Dead Rising 3, I love Dead Rising, but if I really had to pick an exclusive, that's tough. I really liked Sunset Overdrive. That was actually very surprising how much I liked that game. I did a full walkthrough on that on my channel, and I don't normally do full walkthroughs. This is another one that really surprises people, Titanfall. I was one of the few that absolutely loved Titanfall, and I played the beta to Titanfall 2, and I wasn't as big of a fan. I need to pick that up, so I still haven't gotten it. I loved Titanfall. I loved all the DLC. I love that game. I don't know why it got so much hate. I mean, I understand their points of view, but I really like Titanfall. I would have to go with Titanfall, maybe. I don't know. It's between Titanfall, Dead Rising 3. Kind of between those two. Rise would probably take third. Anyway, next question. Beth Bear, my favorite. Me and Beth Bear are best friends now, by the way. What was it that first got you into video games? Smiley face. Smiley face back, Beth Bear. When I was young, I was in the doctor's office a lot. I was at the hospital a lot for different surgeries and stuff, and they had a Nintendo there with the dual cartridge Mario and Duck Hunt, and I played that a lot. I played Mario, and then I'd switch to Duck Hunt and shoot ducks, and then I'd switch back. My brother played it a lot too, and he was the one really that influenced our house into getting a console. He was the one that said, hey, I want this for Christmas. And being a little kid, I was like, yeah. So I think that was the first step into it. The first console I ever played was the NES. And the Game Boys, we had Game Boy Pockets. My brother had a Game Boy Pocket with Wheel of Fortune, Ninja Gaiden, and Donkey Kong Land 2, the first three games. And then I eventually got my own Pocket. He had the silver Pocket, and then I had the blue Pocket later on, but he had a Game Boy before me, so I used his. Next question. This BH Zakim J23. Hopefully I said that right. Will you buy the Nintendo Shift? This is another great question because it goes hand in hand with some videos I did recently of will I be happy with it? We'll see. I have a ton of concerns. You guys can check out those videos in terms of Bethesda not officially confirming Skyrim, even though it was used in promotional videos. Battery life is a huge concern for running powerful AAAs. They say it's 3 hours. I believe it'll be probably more like 2.5 if you are running a game as powerful as Skyrim. And 3, replayability. I think the multiplayer aspect with the Joy-Cons is not going to be fun at all. You're going to be very limited to games you can play with a couple buttons and one joystick. But we'll see how it turns out. Yes, I'm still going to get it. I'm still going to buy games for it. I'll still talk about it and everything. I'm just not as excited as everyone else. Mickey C, what was your first gaming system? My first gaming system was the PlayStation 1. I got the PlayStation 1 with my brother on Christmas, and our first 3 games were Soul Blade, Crash Bandicoot 2, and Air Combat. I can't remember if it was that year or the following where we got like a racing wheel, but we didn't have a racing game right away. Or it might have been the year after. Those were our first 3 games, and I remember it being a pain in the ass to set up on our TV because we had a TV in our room, but we couldn't really do anything on it. Shitty TV. It didn't even have video jacks for plugging anything in. So we had to like set it up in the living room, which was a pain in the ass because like my parents were always like watching TV or whatever. So, but yeah, so those were the first 3 games I got with the PS1. Awesome console. I still have it today. Still play the games. It's amazing. Resident Fantasy asks, how did you get the name Melted Gore? Where did it come from? That's a really good question. My brother actually came up with the name. Back in the day, I used to play a game called Quake 3 Arena, and I played it a ton. I was very good at it. And every time you killed somebody, they would literally explode in guts and gore and blood. And we were playing together, and I had to pick a name just so it didn't say unnamed player every time. So I couldn't come up with a name, and he was like, Melted Gore, just randomly. And so I used that. Because when you kill someone, they exploded in guts and gore and stuff. So I just started using that for everything. I used it for that. I used it for Diablo. I used it for my Xbox Live name. I was going to just do Melted Gore, but it was taken, so I had to add a 7. I need to message that guy and be like, I'll pay you for the name. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's where that came from. WWE 2K16 Gamer. What's your favorite RPG game you got? It's funny, his name's about a wrestling game, and he's asking me about RPGs. But anyway, I'd probably have to jump to Final Fantasy games when I was younger. The new ones, not so much. I'm not too happy with the newer ones. 7, 8, and 9 were probably the best that I've played. Final Fantasy Tactics as well. So 7, 8, 9, and Tactics. Those, just off the top of my head, I'd probably have to go with one of them. It's hard to pick one out of those 3 because I really liked all 3. 9's probably the best out of those 3. And then Tactics is kind of its own thing, but very good game. Next question. Infested Hush. How old are you, and what other YouTubers do you like? I am 24. I turned 25 in December, and other YouTubers I like. It's kind of surprising because I don't really watch YouTube at all, even though I'm a YouTuber. Once in a while, I will watch a game review by Angry Joe. I'm a big fan of Angry Joe. Brizzy Voices, Anna Brisbane's amazing. Awesome voice actor and voice impersonator. Boogie2988 is like the nicest guy in the world. I really like his videos. He's great. I'm a huge fan of Alan Becker. He's the creator of Animation versus Animator. Some of the most creative videos I've ever seen. Beth Bear, of course. She's like my YouTube best friend. There's a lot of YouTubers I like, but I don't really watch YouTube at all. I don't really watch huge YouTubers either. That's not really my thing. It's kind of weird that I don't watch that stuff, but those are probably my go-tos, just off the top of my head. PNG Gamer, he's a good friend of mine. I was on his podcast yesterday. That was a fun time. Jackie's Gaming Art. She does awesome art. I don't know. I got a whole bunch. But again, I don't really watch YouTube at all. But anyway, guys, that was the last question. Thank you so much for the kick-ass questions. That was a really fun time. I'm excited to do it again because it's a cool way to give some more stuff away, and you know I love to do so. But anyway, stick around for a second, and I will give off the codes. Winner number 1. There's going to be 2 winners here, and winner number 1 is Smiley Marty. You win a Peggle 360 code, Peggle 2 for 360. You win a code for that, so that's very cool. So I will contact you about that at some point in the future. After this video is published, I will reach out to you. So yeah, you won that. Congratulations. And the second winner is Mickey C. And so yeah, you get a Peggle 2 360 code. Just in case you guys are wondering, these were completely random. So don't think I picked based on the question. I did not. It was totally random. So that's another 3 Peggle codes I just gave away in this video. And of course, I've got more giveaways coming. Yeah, and go check out my video I just posted, the 3,000 subscriber announcement video. I'm doing another giveaway there, but you gotta go on that video and comment to enter to win. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Stay melted, everybody.